All right, hello and welcome back. Welcome to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Manchester City, crowned champions of the Premier League for the third season in a row. Say what you want, their absolute value for it. Been fantastic all season long. Hurts to say it, but by far, 7-point gap now, the best team in the league, maybe the best team in the world. If you agree with that, go ahead and get the likes up. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Get that notification bell on. Yeah, champions. How's it feel?
It's cool. It's exciting. It was, and this is respectfully said, it was disappointing that they didn't have to win the game to win it, because it did take some of the zing out of, like, kind of going at Chelsea all the way. But what I did see is the guys who did play, because they rotated, were playing for places. You could see they were trying to impress, and a lot of them did. Cole Palmer, he was impressive. Julian Alvarez, you understand why he's a World Cup winner, why he was so comfortable playing next to Messi, why the debate of is Alvarez better than Haaland? Skill-wise, he's probably more complete than Haaland. Kind of shocked to see De Bruyne come on. I mean, even though I'm glad he got some run out there. But I think
it's a lap of honor. Just a lap of honor, man.
Yeah. And so it was just interesting to see that. Good to see Ortega get some run. He has like 4 or 5 clean sheets this year. It was good to see Ake play. Did Ake play? Ake played, yeah. It's just good to see that everybody was healthy. That guys were playing in different positions. And, Chelsea, for like a 5-minute spurt, gave him a game, but for the most part, they really didn't give him a game at all. And there was a period where, like, when Stones had that goal line save against Sterling,
He was offsides.
But that was the extent.
Was he? He looked onside.
Well, he didn't score, so it doesn't.
So they didn't go back and look at it, but he looked onside.
Sterling can't score to save his life.
Well, and the funny thing about that is that's part of the reason why they let him go. Like, there was 2 times he should have scored. Like, dead should have scored and didn't. Because one of the saves Ortega made was it was even though it was a good save, he made a routine. It looked
was
like
1v1. Like, Sterling had him, one-on-one.
And so it's disappointing to a degree to see Sterling be that way. But, happy that, that Calvin Phillips got to play the whole game. There was sort of the sentiment of whose last home game is it? So the idea is, I think there was a soundbite or something where Pep said if Pep knew that this was Gundogan's last home game, he would have played him, which means that they probably are going to re-sign him to the 2-year deal they want, because he didn't play at all. Same goes for Bernardo Silva. He didn't play. And if it was their last games, he would have put them in the game. And he didn't. So it seems like they probably will keep everybody that's there, with the exception of, it seems like Laporte might be gone. I'd like for him to stay, but I think he might be gone. Because he cried when they won. And this is his 4th or 5th one. Yeah. But he was the only one, like, super emotional about it.
Take him.
Well, apparently he's linked to Spurs, which I don't know why I would sit on the City bench before I played for Spurs, but
same.
It is. But exciting, happy. It's still it leaves you still got. They keep saying there's 2 more finals, which is true, is 2 more finals, but there are also 2 more games. So, I mean, a lot of them said it, so it feels like there might be some overlooking the other games. And I think that's very important to be aware of the mentality of that, because Brighton is going to want to win on Wednesday. And is it Leeds? Is Leeds' last game?
No, you play.
I don't know who the last one is.
It's Brentford. Y'all have Brentford.
Brentford is going to want to win too. Mm-hmm. And so, I hope. I mean, I think the rotation will still happen again, just to get people informed. Like, for example, I think they'll probably start the main guys next for Sunday, and probably run the rotation again on Wednesday, just to kind of close out and give them that. But I'm happy. I mean, Arsenal made City work. I know you might disagree with it, but they still made him work. They made him hone in. If Arsenal doesn't do what they do, City doesn't find the focus to go all the way in on the FA Cup and the Champions League. As a matter of fact, I remember a soundbite where they said when I think Arsenal was about eight points ahead, and City had either drawn or lost to someone, and they said, well, we got to focus on the FA Cup. And I remember a lot of people said focus on the FA Cup because no one thought that City was going to really make that run into the Champions League because they had just got drawn with Bayern. And they focused on the FA Cup, and the FA Cup was against Arsenal. And they just went forward from there. And they're like, okay, we're going to win this one. And then they just took it like one step at a time. And Arsenal still was actually ahead, but then, the blip happened, and I'll call it a blip because I think it was a mental thing. I don't think they lacked the player quality. I think it was just a mental thing where it got big for them. And now it's opportunity for some new history, some rare history, and I hope it can come to fruition. But I'm happy that the first goal was to win the league, and that happened. So yeah, I'm happy.
I think you hit on it. It's a mentality thing, and I think that this season, that's been the main difference in this Arsenal team and the City team. What have y'all won? Like 15 straight Premier League games, 14 straight. You've won. It doesn't feel like it because it's been in weird moments, and you've played FA Cup games and Champions League games in between. So the winning run has felt, maybe not as prominent in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's disjointed.
But you have won nearly the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Nearly the entire second half of the season, you won every game. And you've said it multiple times on the pod how you would prefer them to play every 4 days and keep the momentum. Keep that mentality. That's why Haaland plays every game, whether he starts or not. He'll come in for a little lap of honor at the end of this one. And you could even see it in the game. He was still like, I'm desperate to score. Even in this nothing game, I'm desperate to pad the stats a little and continue to move on. And I think Pep is going to impress upon them how important that is moving forward, because you're not going to have that when the season's over. It's like 5 or 6 days to the FA Cup final, and then it's a whole nother week. So you're going from, because look at it, this week you got 3 games, so you're going from 3 games a week to 2 games in 2 weeks. So the mentality is going to have to be, I'm sure Pep's going to be able to have it and, keep it up in practice. But imagine, losing to Brighton or drawing to Brighton because it's at Brighton, and then, not showing up for Brentford. And it doesn't matter really for the league, obviously, but the mentality, if y'all had 2 kind of unfavorable bad games, and then you have the 2 biggest games of the season off the back of those, and you have to wait 6 days while you're thinking about how you didn't show up for Brentford. So it's definitely a mentality thing. Definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if Pep and yeah, I can see them rotating versus Brighton, but I wouldn't be surprised if y'all smash Brentford.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're coming full strength.
Yeah.
And at first, I think I said this to you guys before when they were doing the FA Cup semis, and I think I said my preference. Well, I didn't care. Actually, I don't know if I had a preference, but I've been thinking about it, and I'm glad it's United. I'm really glad it's them because you have to get all the way up. If it was Brighton, it wouldn't have been the same. It would have been the same assumption that they're going to walk it. And so I feel like they need a challenge or a difficult sort of optical game, mental game before you go into the Champions League final, because something has to push you. Because, for example, Inter, if I'm not mistaken, Inter will have 2 weeks off before they played the final. That doesn't benefit them at all.
No. Not at all. Not at all. No.
So, yeah.
I think it's the thing that Arsenal lacked is we kind of got up in our own head and we're like, okay, how should we approach it this week because we got this and this and this coming up. Whereas City were like, where's the next victim?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, and it's an interesting dynamic because I thought about this when they mentioned the Gundogan thing, because there's the rumors right now are that Arsenal are in for him, which they would be absolutely brilliant to be in for him. And we simply think this, and I mean, obviously hypotheticals are just fun for conversation, but if Gundogan is in there next to Odegaard and Partey, you win. Period.
Be awesome.
You win the league.
I would love that.
There's zero question. You win the league.
I would love that. For sure. And hey, Xhaka looks like he's on the way out, so I mean, there's a vacancy.
Right.
Looking like there's a vacancy there. We'll take him. Take him all day long.
But I'm pretty sure they said they're done enhancing their rivals. So
yeah, I understand that.
Even though he's on a free, so I mean, it's his choice.
Right. I expect he'll sign. If City will have him, he'll sign again. But what'd you think about this one, Patrick?
I didn't watch it. I'm on the beach just like the team.
Fair enough.
That said, I saw the lineup and Frank. Oh man, I'm not even gonna go on my little rant about Frank, but I'll just say this: he's gotten it all wrong this whole time. He had some moments where it was positive, like the first half against Real at the bridge, but I mean it's been tough. So I'm just counting down the days for this season to be over. That said,
it was a pure Frank game. It was a pride for the shirt game, right? That was what Frank's been preaching.
Yeah, I know, right? You know, have you ever watched him on the touchline?
Not like closely, no.
He just stands there.
Doesn't get animated.
He doesn't get animated at all. Like he just stands there. I did the moments that I did watch, which was very few. His assistants were barking out instructions, and he was just standing there. And then he goes into a press conference beforehand and says that his job is to get the players ready or whatever. Something stupid. I don't know. And yet he's not playing the youth. He's playing guys that are on their way out the door.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, people joke that, you know, Bowley's got this control on the locker room, but I know my thoughts on Bowley are probably wrong. Don't think it's that. I just think Frank is that stubborn. And he has just proven once again why he was fired from Everton. Because he doesn't have any tactical awareness. You know,
what's Pochettino thinking from the stands? Watching this performance, you know, watching this kind of City B team have their way with you know whatever Frank come up with.
Truthfully, he's looking at it as he's got a completely clean slate. He's got to. I mean, when I saw the lineup and it had Azpilicueta forward on the right and Chalobah back, I'm like, what are you doing? Like what? Huh?
He got ran. Azpilicueta looked 1,000 years old in that game.
And again, that's another thing. Like you're setting up to potentially play for the badge, and you play a guy who is way past it. Way past it. And I know we've got injuries. I get that. But you can't tell me that there's not someone better.
Silva was looking ragged too.
Yeah. And I mean, and I was telling y'all beforehand, the old guard is old.
Yeah.
Very old. And it needs to go. And that's why there's going to be growing pains. I don't think they'll be as bad next year as they were this year, because I think we've got a good many pieces in place already to build upon. But then I watch Frank throw out some of these lineups. Like he sat Nani and he sat Mudrick until like the 65th minute. And I'm like, what? Why? Like what's your plan here? I understand that Sterling scored 2 last week against Forest, but you and I both know that he was going to flood it against City. That's just who he is. He was going to play too hard to try to make a statement, and we all know that he was not going to perform. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. And so I sit there and, I know that X was talking about, Potter, they were doing this and they were doing that. And they weren't getting ready for games. And so there may be some truth to that. But I sit here and I wonder, what the heck are they doing in training with Frank? Is he just having them run the whole time? Like
laps.
There's literally no sense or reason to his lineups. There's no sense or reason to the performance. I understand being on the beach. I get that. That's why you throw the young kids out so that they can give their youthful exuberance to try to impress the new manager. And you keep rolling out some of these lineups, and you're just like, why? What do you keep
Gallagher and Havertz and
Supposedly Gallagher's gonna stay. I say we sell him. That's just me. But supposedly Pochettino wants him to stay, so he'll probably stay. He wants Mountain to stay, but it sounds like that's going to be very difficult to happen. So,
and it goes to the point we talked about this. I think 3 pods ago about whether Pochettino should start or not. This is the exact reason why he shouldn't have started. This is the exact reason he shouldn't come in. I don't want no parts of this. You go whatever it is you want to do, because they're still auditioning. And so anybody who says, well, he's not watching, I saw the game and
no one there made a good shout for themselves.
No.